Smithsonians, welcome back. Messe Francois here. Triple Haitian, double black, and you know what it is. You probably don't, but I'm about to figure it out. We about to get athletic in here. We have a professional football player, and I'll leave it at that. So let me introduce you. Like, who are you?
I'm Justin Fabera. I'm originally from here in Columbus.
Born and raised?
Not born and raised, but been living here since probably third grade, so like 9 years old.
Okay.
So, was raised here, grew up here, played football at the University of Missouri, and then later down at Mississippi College at the D2 level. And now I'm back at home, just working and obviously also coaching, trying to give back to the next generation. But yeah.
What you doing in Mississippi? I was in Alabama. I went to school in Alabama.
Okay, yeah. Well, I was after I played at the University of Missouri, I graduated from there, and I still had years of eligibility left to play football.
Okay.
So I ended up going down there for grad school. So I had another school that recruited me there, and I went down there for grad school, and I played 2 years there. So I was at Mississippi College, which is right outside of Jackson, Mississippi. So yeah, I was down south for a little bit.
All right, cool. Let's get to it. So you're Alabama, Ohio, since the age of 3. Like, talk about it. Why Ohio? From your experience, you came back.
Yeah.
A lot of people leave but don't come back. But I want to hear your story. Like, why Columbus? Or was it Columbus? Was it Cleveland or?
Yeah. So I was born in Cleveland, but I didn't live there long. I was a baby, so I don't really remember that much. But we moved around a little bit. Then my family moved back to Columbus when I was about 9 years old. So I've really been in Columbus since then. Went through middle school, high school, and then after high school, I went to college, undergrad at Missouri. I played football there. And then, like we already talked about, went to Mississippi and did grad school there, kept playing football. Okay. I graduated from grad school down in Mississippi about last year, May of 2025. And, honestly, it was me just trying to figure out the next step, trying to figure out the next step in my life, trying to figure out what I wanted to do. So because my family was here, I moved back home for a bit, just trying to figure things out. And, still here now, working. I work in sales, but I also do youth football coaching as well. So just living back home now. So
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So it's something interesting you said earlier. You also have immigrant background. Like, where are people from?
Yeah. So my mom is from Sierra Leone, in West Africa, and then I'll say my biological dad, he's from Nigeria. But my dad, who raised me, he practically raised me. My other father, some would say stepfather, but I don't use that term. But my father who raised me, he's from Belize.
Okay.
So kind of have a bit of a heavy ethnic background when it comes to that. Yeah.
Okay. So let me guess. What's your favorite food? I won't say rice, but I want to let you.
Oh yeah. I'm very much more in tune with like my mom's side, my Sierra Leonean side. So like we have all types of food that we eat. There's obviously like all the meals come with rice, kind of as the base, but there's like there's cassava leaves.
Oh.
Like that's one of my favorites, if not my favorite. You have groundnut soup, or we call it peanut butter soup, but it's like a white rice, but then you have like a peanut butter based sauce that you put on top of it. You can put any type of meat in it, chicken, beef, turkey, whatever. Oh man, we have stew, which is kind of the same thing. You can eat that with rice, fried rice, jollof rice, all types of food, man. So yeah, I like everything. I like to eat. So
All right.
yeah.
All right. So appreciate your time for coming on, and
Yeah.
I want to talk about athletics. So I already played my senior year football, my last quarter.
Yeah.
So I'm not that athletic, you could tell.
Right. Yeah.
So I want to see, growing up, like, were you always athletic? Were you a runner? Like, did you always stay fit? Or
Yeah, well, what's the craziest part of my story, which is kind of what I'm building my platform off of, is that I only started playing football my senior year of high school also.
Okay.
So I had played a little bit when I was a kid, but like it was like very on and off. The reason for that is because my mom, she works in the medical field, and she always was afraid of me getting a concussion or harming myself. So she wasn't really with football. So when I got into high school, I ran track all 4 years. That was my main sport in high school.
How did I know?
Huh?
How did I know?
Yeah, I was a track guy. I was a sprinter. I was a hurdler. I was really a hurdler. That was my main event.
Okay.
The 110 hurdles was like that was like my best event.
Okay.
Um, but it wasn't until my senior year in which I, started football. So that senior year I did football and then I did indoor and outdoor track. And it was probably at that time the most in shape, the most athletic I'd ever been. I had one of the best track seasons I had, but that was because I was playing football. So I was in shape year round, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So yeah, but after high school, I still wanted to keep playing an athlete. But running track in college is hard. Like you have to be really, really fast to get a scholarship,
Okay.
So I really wanted to keep playing football. But I didn't really have any offers because I started so late. So I ended up, going to the University of Missouri, which is a big school, one of the bigger schools out there. They play in the SEC, which is the top conference, the top level of college football. I went there as a student and I just kind of was persistent. I got in touch with the right people. I literally walked into the football facility one day and I told them, hey, I want to play. And I had my film, I had everything I needed in terms of like just, all my information. And it took a few months, but eventually, they got back to me. We were communicating. And then eventually I joined the team through an open tryout. By the time there was the open tryout though, I knew the people really well. I had like built a rapport. So they knew me. And then all I had to do was prove myself and I did. And then I joined the team my second semester of college, which was 2020. That was right before COVID. So
Okay.
that's where my college football journey began.
So before that, before COVID, let's talk about the right people.
Yeah.
So how did you find the right people? Like, was it because of your parents? Because a lot of people, you know, are like black people, like they don't have the right circle, right
Yeah.
influence. Like, how did you find the right people to be around?
In terms of like joining the football team or just in
Yes.
general?
We want to talk football and then in general, like, are you
Yeah.
always around the right people?
Yeah. So when it came to football, I really kind of did it by myself, if I could say that. That summer before I went to college, I was trying to like hit up the coaches. I was emailing, I was calling, but no one was really trying to hear what I had to say, right? So I had to wait till I got on campus in the fall, and I just went online. Sometimes it's just a matter of doing it for yourself, right? I went online. I saw who I needed to talk to. I saw the coaches. There's support service staff. There's director of recruiting. There's director of player personnel. So I saw all these people, and I decided I'm just going to walk into the football facility and talk to somebody. And that's exactly what I did. I walked in. It was easy to get in for whatever reason. I think it just God was on my side that day. He was with me. So I walked in there and I talked to somebody who was like, they worked in the recruiting department, and it wasn't even immediate. Like 1 or 2 months later, that's when I got an email back that was like, hey, we heard you stop by. We would like to have you join. And that's really what started the process. So it was really just persistence on my end and just kind of doing it for myself. There wasn't really anybody else that like, I would say helped me. Like I had good people around me, but like me, I kind of did the process by myself.
Okay. All right, that's awesome because
Yeah.
like, the journey people like starting from the age of 4, trying to get ready for the NFL, but
Yeah.
you just did it
Yeah.
senior high school.
Yeah. I just kind of, yeah. If I would have maybe started playing before, I might be in the NFL now, who knows? But yeah.
So what is your what I don't want to get too far. Let me talk about
Yeah.
COVID. Let's talk about COVID first.
Yeah.
What is you got in during COVID? Like, how was that experience? Like,
It was crazy. So when I joined the team, I said I joined the team my second semester of college. So I joined the team maybe February or March of 2020.
okay,
And if anybody remembers, if anybody was in college or anybody during that time, that was like right before the whole world shut down. So I might have joined the team and I was on the team for maybe 2 weeks. And then like the whole news came around like, hey, everybody's going to go home. And this was right around spring break. So everybody's going to go home, and we're going to let you know until further notice what's going to happen. So everybody, even the athletes, had to go home, and we didn't know what was going to happen. So I was at home. Like I went back home. I came back home here to Columbus, right? Came back home and was just finishing the school year. But other than that, we really couldn't do anything, right? Because everybody had to stay inside. So What I did, I just worked out. I went to my local high school field and I literally worked out every day. Like did my, we had like a workout thing that they gave us, like a workout pamphlet.
Okay.
I went there and I worked out every day. I didn't miss a day. I just stayed right. I stayed in shape. Um, and what they ended up doing was they started bringing guys back during the summer, but they had to bring them back in like waves, right? One part and then the second part because,
Yeah.
we didn't know what was going on. They wanted to be safe. But because I had just joined the team and I was a walk on, so I wasn't on scholarship,
Okay.
I didn't join until right before the fall. So I had to stay there all through the spring. I had to stay home all through the spring, all through the summer. Um, until right before fall camp. All my football players know what fall camp is. Um, and I got back right before fall camp, and then that's kind of I started. We continued from there. So it's like I joined the team, and then you hit COVID, and then I'm home for 4 or 5 months, and
That's
then I got to
crazy.
come back and join the team again. It was crazy. Yeah.
Hey.
I didn't think they were at one point. I didn't think they were going to bring me back on the team. I thought they were just going to cut me because obviously COVID. Nobody knew what to do with COVID. So yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Cool. So let's talk about your faith. Like you said, because of God. Like,
hmm
so do you go to church often? Like, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I would say, yeah, like faith is a big part of, a big part of who I am. I was raised a Christian. So I've always believed, I've always been a believer. I believe that Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. Um, And yeah, just I was raised like that, and kind of as I went through college, like obviously none of us are perfect, so I was just kind of living life. But as I grew older and matured, I started to realize like like okay, I need to really make God the main focal point of my life in order to, be successful, but also to, be with him when it's all said and done. So I just think my journey is a testament of how good he's been to me and how he's kind of kept me through all the uncertain times. So I'm definitely a believer. And I think me going to Mississippi, which I know we'll get to that, me going to Mississippi was like a big influence in that also. Like, down south, church and religion is really, really big,
Okay.
because you went to Alabama.
That's funny. I went to
Yeah.
Christian campus, but yeah,
Yeah, yeah. But
HBCU.
in that area, that region, it's very big. So that kind of helped me grow my faith also. So like, I would say, but yeah, it's definitely a big part of my life and something I try to keep at the front at all times for sure.
Okay. So were you too? How far were you from LSU?
LSU is in BR, right? Baton Rouge. So
Yeah.
I was in Jackson, Mississippi. So it's probably I think it's like a 3 or 4 hour drive.
Okay.
So not too far, not too far.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Did you want to go HBCU or no? You just like nah.
Man, I wanted to go wherever the best opportunity was, When you play football, it's a different conversation. Like sometimes, you're not thinking about HBCU or PWI. I wanted to go where the best opportunity was for me to obviously succeed academically, but then succeed athletically too. Missouri was a good option because I went and studied journalism when I went to college.
Okay.
And Missouri has a really good journalism school. But I also knew that Missouri is a big school and they put a lot of money into their athletics. So if I was able to join the football team, I know that I would be in a good place where I could succeed in that too, right? Because there was a lot of resources that they put into it. So when I went to Mississippi, it was a smaller school. They didn't have as much funding, but the school was still a good school. They had a very good academic reputation. And I felt like they were the best opportunity for me to, be able to play a lot and succeed on the field too. So I kind of look at it from that standpoint. I don't really look at it I didn't really have an urge to go to a HBCU per se. I wanted to go to where I was going to succeed. So
Okay.
yeah.
So let's talk about it. So what's your background? What degree did you get?
Yeah, yeah. So I got a bachelor's degree in journalism from Missouri, University of Missouri. I did that thinking that I was gonna be like a kind of like kind of like what you're doing in a sense, but maybe different. I thought I was gonna be like a Stephen A. Smith, right?
Oh,
Like sports journalism, because I knew,
not Stephen A. Smith. Like Cup Shay Shay.
yeah, something like that, something like that. You
You'll
know what
be
I'm
petty
saying?
online.
Yeah, 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 something like that. Because it's like I wanted to. I was like, I knew I liked sports, and I knew, I could talk I could talk a little bit. So I was like, okay, let me just do that. But eventually, like I kind of like by my junior year, I kind of realized, okay, like I don't necessarily want to do like, you know, local news, because the pathway they had for the curriculum was like they usually put you into local news first. So that was like the career path for most people.
Okay.
You start with local news and then you can kind of work your way up. But I did like they had us in the newsroom. We were doing newsroom shifts, as part of our curriculum. And I kind of realized, okay, this is probably not what I want to do. So after I graduated with that, I went and kept playing football. I used football to keep going to school. And I went down to Mississippi, like we've said. And
Sorry.
yeah.
You use football, keep playing school like with scholarship, or did you get?
Yeah. So yeah, once I left Missouri, I was able to get a scholarship to a smaller school because they were going to allow me to play more. So that's a good question. Yeah. So in a sense, I used football to keep gaining education for free.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Sweet.
Yeah. So I was able to, once I left Missouri, I had a good reputation, but they kept recruiting really over me. They kept burying me in the depth chart. So I had to leave because I didn't want to keep playing for school. So I ended up, entering the transfer portal, and I transferred to the school in Mississippi, and they gave me a full scholarship, so I didn't have to pay for my grad school. So, yeah, I went down there and then I went and got my master's of business administration there, MBA. So that kind of allowed me to do anything that I wanted. So I had the journalism background, which I kind of call it now like a glorified communications degree, because I tell people like, okay, I can communicate very well. And then I have the master's of business administration. So I have that basic business knowledge, accounting, finance, right? I have the basic knowledge of all of it. So now I kind of made myself more marketable to where I can I could work in this sector, I could work in sales, or I can work in business, or I can work in anything. So that's kind of how it went down. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about it. Before we talk about TikTok and things of that nature.
Yeah.
Explain the NIL deal. Do you get it? Are you into that? Like trading with NIL deal with the football, college football?
Yeah, when NIL came around, I was probably a junior at Missouri. So at that time it was really, really new. So people didn't really know how it worked, right? Everybody was thinking, oh, I'm gonna get big sponsorships and stuff. So I didn't get as much as a lot of these kids are getting now, right? Because now it's like, we're more used to it. We know how it works a little bit more. When it first came about, nobody really knew what was going on. So it was kind of like one of those things where, it wasn't like they're not just giving it out like how they are now. They weren't. So I got a little bit of NIL, but not probably as much as I would get now. You know what I'm saying? Which kind of is like, dang, but at the same time, that's just how it goes. So now I'm done playing football. So I'm not really like, I don't, I'm not getting no NIL anymore, but that's kind of how it went down for me. But I got a little bit and it was fun. It was cool. It was nice to have that experience, to get paid for being a college athlete, for sure.
All right, sweet. So let's talk about current day TikTok. Like you have journalism.
Yeah.
So give us a free game. Like we on TikTok, we fighting. I'm not really fighting.
Yeah.
Got no looking for sponsors, things like nature. But I got 2 million views on Facebook, and
Yeah.
the numbers don't mean nothing. It's like you're not getting paid until you get certain followers.
Right.
So what's your strategy? Or give some tips and strategy of what
Man.
to master the social media game.
I don't even know if I've mastered the social media game. I don't know, but just for reference, I have about, I said like 56,000 on TikTok, and then I have close to, I think 15K on Instagram, and I'm still trying to grow those. But I have decent engagement, which I think is very important. Sometimes you don't necessarily have to have all the followers if each of your posts are having good engagement, if that makes sense, right?
Yes.
Likes, comments, people reposting, things like that. So I'm definitely still growing those platforms. But I would say for anybody trying to do well or make it in social media, you kind of just, for me, there's different strategies, but for me, I use my story. Everything, like even me talking to you now, is a product of my social media, me putting myself out there and you kind of taking notice of that, right?
Correct.
So I kind of just use my story, and I use that to be authentic and real to other people. So I know, because of my football journey, because of the fact that I was so late to playing football, because of the fact that I was a walk-on and I played at the SEC level, a top level in college football, the fact that I got my bachelor's and my master's while playing football, right? I transferred to a D2. like all that, right?
Yes.
People are, I would like to think people are intrigued by that, right?
Yep.
So they see that and they kind of want to understand how I did it. So I just use, it's easy because I went through with it. I went through it. It's my life. It's my life experience. So I just use a lot of the things that I went through, and I just try to give tips. I try to educate and inspire other people that are watching, just to kind of help them in any way, whether it's other athletes, it could be parents of athletes, just people watching, right? So for me, I would just say, if you're, whatever content you're making, be authentic, be relatable. Try to make your content as relatable as possible. If you're relatable, people will feel something and they will interact with it. And I can be authentic and relatable because I went through it. So that's what I would say. Be authentic, be relatable, and then watch what other people are doing so you know how to present it. That's very important too. You can put out good videos, but if you don't know how to present it, people won't watch it. So understand the game a little bit so you know how to present what you're doing, how to put the captions, how to say certain things or convey different messages. I think those things are very important. So I hope that answers your question.
Yes, it
Yeah.
does. So, have you seen the Dr. Pepper girl? She made a jingle.
Yeah, 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 no, yeah,
Like that is crazy.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
so that's something. AI. With AI, and people are afraid of it. But basically, I want to say is like one AI. Let's talk about AI. How do you feel about AI?
I think AI can be a great tool if you know how to use it. Um, like me being honest, I use AI to prompt and create all my scripts for my talking videos. So, like, if you saw a video of mine and you saw me talking in the camera, right?
Okay.
I used AI to make that script. Now, AI is a good tool, but AI is not the end all be all.
Tool.
Right, exactly. So what I will do is, this is free game, right? I'll think of the idea of the video I want to talk about, right? So I want to talk about a certain topic, right? I'm gonna, I use ChatGPT all the time. I ChatGPT almost everything now, like probably everybody else, right? And I'll put it in the chat. I'll talk to ChatGPT. Hey, I want to make this video. This is what I want to talk about. This is how I want to say it, and ChatGPT will make a script for me. And I tell it exactly what I want to do. I say, make a script, make it 1 minute or longer. I tell it what I want it to do. And then it will give me a script, but I don't follow the script word for word. I use it as a template. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? And then I'll add my own flavor, my own wording, my own things, but it gives me like a template on how to say and what to say. So AI is a great tool. It's a great tool. It shouldn't be something that you just rely on, but it's there to make our lives more convenient and easier. And if you don't use it the right way, then you can be behind. But I think AI is a great tool. You just don't want it to like control too much of what you have going on. Even without AI, I could still make the videos that I make. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But AI makes it easier for me to do what I want to do, if that makes sense.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So I think AI is a great tool if you use it correctly and you prompt it correctly. Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know if, but the way I do it is I just hit the record button. I
Hmm.
say what I want to say, go back, take the card, put it on my computer,
Hmm.
transcribe it, and
Hmm.
tell AI, ChatGPT, fix the outline because
Hmm.
I'm everywhere.
Yeah.
So it fixes for me. I just go back and say it word for word.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's how I use
Yeah, for sure,
ChatGPT.
for sure, for sure. There's so many different ways to do it. ChatGPT or AI, any other AI platform, they can come up with. You can come up with anything with it. So, like I said, you use it as a tool. It can be very good for you, for sure.
All
Yeah.
right, cool. So my question is, did
Hmm.
you know you wanted to play football? And before that, what is your life goal?
Yeah. Man, I think I knew I wanted to play football after I started playing my senior year of high school. Once I was done with that season, I really felt like I still had more to give in a sense. Like I just remember having so much fun, and like obviously like the environment of being around teammates, having coaches that coach you, and just the process of getting better. I fell in love with that. And I kind of experienced that through track as well and other sports. Sports will teach you that in general. And I just felt like I still needed to, I still had more to do. So after that year, I kind of knew, yeah, I want to keep playing football. I just didn't know how it was going to happen.
Okay.
But it happened, obviously, as we talked about. So then, football, like I said, though, is, it can be, kind of like AI, it can be a big part of your life, but it doesn't have to be the end all be all. my main goal in life is to educate and inspire people to be the best versions of themselves. That's kind of like, I guess, what I would put it at basically. And I do that through football and through my athletic experience. I share the lessons that I learned through football to help others, right? Whether it's coaching, whether it's mentoring, whether it's, creating content that other people can see. That's kind of, I use football to do that. I didn't make it to the NFL. But I didn't need to make it to the NFL to, still fulfill my purpose. That's probably what the plan was to begin with, right? That was like God's plan for me. So, football is just a tool. It's just a footnote, right? But what you learn from football or any other sport can help you in any other aspect of life. So that's my main goal is to use my experiences and my knowledge and, everything I've experienced in life to then educate and inspire other people, and I think that's what we should all be striving to do.
All right, cool. So you didn't make the NFL, but like you say, you do sales. So in college, you also have people who are real estate who play athlete, like they're into sales.
Right.
So what is about sales and athletic? Like, is that where the money is at? Like, because I know a lot of people do sales.
It's so funny you asked that because I have a video where I saw another video of somebody. They said the athlete to sales pipeline needs to be studied because there's a lot of people that they recruit athletes to do sales because of, like I said, the values that you learn through being an athlete, like the ability to communicate and talk with other people, right? The ability to work with other people, right? Teamwork, collaboration, all those things, the hard work, the discipline that is needed, that can, translate to any other, profession, but sales definitely, is kind of like it's a good match because of those things, right? Those aligning, those aligning skills. But it was so funny because I made a video talking about, I wonder why this is such a thing. Like, I was like, man, I was in the video talking about how if 30 people tell me no and I'm trying to sell something, I might believe that no, like I'm gonna get discouraged. And funny enough, that was before I got the job that I have now. And the job I have now is in sales. And I literally do the same thing for a living. But I would say the money, I mean, I can't speak for anybody else, but I say the money is, if you're doing your job, the money can be really good for sure. But I think it just fits like, it's a natural fit in a lot of ways. A lot of times, if you know how to communicate, if you know how to talk to other people, if you know how to build relationships, you've already been doing this with your teammates for how many years, right? 4+ years in college, right?
Correct.
So you being able to do that, as an athlete, it can set you up to be very successful in sales also. So it kind of just a lot of times is a natural fit because of the aligning skills. So yeah, I guess that's just why that's just a common pipeline, athlete to sales.
Okay.
So yeah.
It may be off topic, but you're in Columbus. Like, a lot of people don't know why Columbus. So my question to you is why Columbus? Like, it's a small town. Like, people don't really go out. The most athletic thing I do is walk around the block for
Yeah.
my lunch break, 45 minutes. But why Columbus?
Man, I mean, I'm from here. Like I mean, when we moved here, I didn't have a choice, right? That was my family, right? My mom and dad, they moved here, probably because of work. So this is like where I'm from. But I would say I would push back a little bit on what you said. I think Columbus, I mean, I don't know how long you've been here, but Columbus is growing really, really fast. And I mean, people who live here, they know like Columbus is one of the bigger cities in the country. Matter of fact, I think it's the second biggest city in the Midwest behind Chicago. So, you being from Chicago, you're gonna think Columbus is small, so that makes sense. Or
For me, I went to Alabama, so it's like
okay,
it's
yeah.
medium.
So you've seen both sides, right? Mississippi, because down there it's very, it's country, for the most part, right?
Yeah.
So, so then, compared to that, Columbus feels like a big city. But then you being from Chicago, you're gonna be like, but Chicago, you know what I'm saying? But man, Columbus, I mean, I love Columbus because Columbus is like one of those places where it's growing and there's honestly a lot going on that people may not give us credit for.
Okay, talk about it.
Yeah, we have a lot of, I mean, I work in sales, right? I work for a big freight transportation company, trucking company, right? And I talk to businesses to try and get their business. But we have a lot of companies coming here. We got Amazon that's here, right? Intel is here. There's another company, Anduril. They make drones. They're here. But like all these businesses that are even smaller businesses that are in Columbus, because Columbus has a very strategic location where you're able to reach a lot of places within a certain amount of time from
Yep.
Columbus because of where it's located and the highways and stuff
Right.
like that, right? So it's very big for logistics and freight transportation. And so businesses see that and they want to move here. They want to build, service centers here. They want to build databases here, right?
Right.
So that's why it's growing. More people are moving here and stuff like that. So there's a lot going on. There's really a lot going on. And I just love the fact that like I can come back. Yeah, I was saying, even though it's growing in a sense, it still feels like home. It's one of those cities that's big, but it doesn't feel too big. It feels like you still know everybody in a sense,
Exactly. You
right?
do like
Yeah.
connection. Ooh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
connections. Yeah,
Be careful. Like right people. Like
yeah.
the right people know each other.
Right, exactly, exactly. Like you went to Alabama, I went to Mississippi. It feel like down there the whole state know each other.
Oh
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? Like it's one big family. But here, like Columbus is a little bigger, and then you got Chicago, which is one of the biggest cities, right?
Yes.
But even Chicago probably feel like that in a sense. But it's a big city with a lot of people.
For me, the Haitian community, yes.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, exactly. Haitian community, but like the big city, probably
Yeah.
not everybody.
Right.
But I get what you're saying, right? So I think Columbus is just a great place. It's a great place overall to raise a family. And like I don't have kids or nothing, but I'm saying like I know it just has a great vibe to it. And I'm very proud to be from here for sure. Yeah.
All right. Sweet. So being athletic, like you say, you train like do you train high schools or how you or do TikTok? How are you?
Yeah, yeah,
How do
yeah.
people get in contact with you? First of all, that's what I want to say.
Yeah, so honestly, I don't train like, per se. I do a lot of fitness content. So I'll do a lot of the workouts I did. I still train like an athlete. So I'll go to the gym and I still do my workouts and I post them on, social media or TikTok, and people will ask me like, "Oh, do you train?" Me personally, I don't train, I'm going to say yet, simply because I don't know how I would balance it, with everything else I have going on. But I do recently started doing youth coaching. One of the and that's why we talk about connections are so important, because one of the trainers here in Columbus that I used to train with when I was doing my pro day training,
Yes.
he reached out to me and asked me to coach one of his 14U teams for 7-on-7 football. Shout out to Coach Michael with grad. So he asked me to do that, and I recently started doing that. So that's kind of like my coaching and my training that I do, where I coach the defense. I coach the guys defensively, put them through drills, create a scheme, create a game plan for them to be the best they can be. But also through football, you teach them how to be better men, how to work together, how to communicate, how to be accountable for their actions. So football can be used not just to be football, for them to be better football players, better athletes, but for them to be better men, and to learn a lot of lessons through that. I know that's what football did for me. So that's kind of my version of training right now. Through my social media, I am hoping and planning on doing some type of online coaching very soon, because I've had a lot of people reach out to me on that. I just got to figure out how I'm going to balance that all. But very, very soon, I'm going to be working on that for sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Sweet. Sweet. So I keep going back and forth.
Hmm.
But on TikTok, do you edit yourself? Like, let's talk about your process of
Yeah.
creating content. Do you pick a specific day and shoot? I know they have different methods.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say for me, yeah, it's a specific day. I'll typically have like training plans that I do. So, I use a lot of like the same workouts I said that I did when I was playing football. So I'll know that, hey, for this week or these few days or these few weeks, I'm going to be filming because I want to capture this workout. I want to capture this workout plan, right? So yeah, it can be a specific day, it can be a specific few days, it could be a specific week, just depends on how I want to do it. And what I'll do is I'll bring my camera in. I have a camera, I have a tripod, and I'll put it in, film it in my gym. And I'll set it up where it needs to be set up, and I do my whole workout. And I record and I stop where needed. And then after that, how I edit a lot on CapCut. That's kind of like my main editing platform. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yes.
and I edit on my laptop. I used to edit on my phone back when I was starting, but I edit on my laptop now because they're very like like kind of like this camera you're using, very high quality clips, right? So they take up a lot of space sometimes.
Right.
So I have a SD card, I put it into my laptop, I upload it, and then I edit through that, and I do all the editing myself, all the captions. Everything is done by me. So, That's kind of my platform. That's kind of my method. But I think once you've been doing it for a while, you kind of know what you're doing. You kind of know how you want to edit it. So
Correct.
it doesn't take as long as you would think once you kind of get the hang of it and know what you want to do. You can kind of get through it quickly. But it still takes a lot of time and effort for sure. Yeah.
All right, sweet. So you encourage. So come to a close. I just want to say, you been to Haiti. You mentioned you been to Haiti. Like, what was that experience like?
Oh
So, what,
man.
and before that, what other places have you traveled to?
Yeah, when you come from like and you can relate to this, when you come from like a immigrant family, both my parents are immigrants. Like I said, my mom from Sierra Leone, my dad, my dad who raised me from Belize. When you grow up in that environment, you kind of are you're very aware and you become very aware and respectful of other cultures.
Yeah.
Because I think like even you being from Haiti and me being from West Africa, my family being from West Africa, we can relate with a lot of things on like how we were raised and things
Correct.
like that, right? Because the whole
Homeschool church.
yeah, homeschool, exactly. Hey, we don't mix in anything else, right?
Yeah.
Even like I said, even sports, it was hard for me to get into sports with my
Yep.
family, right? But yeah, it's like just the cultures that we have, they're very similar, right? Like the whole, whether you're from the Caribbean or West Africa or wherever, like we can all relate to like common experiences, right?
Right.
So I kind of grew up within that environment. And what it did was just make me aware of different other cultures. It influenced, like, obviously the food that I eat and things like that. But what was your question? Like,
Where have you traveled?
oh yeah, where have I traveled? But yeah, also it made me obviously want to be able to see the world, right? So I've traveled. I told you my biological dad is from Nigeria, so I've traveled there really twice. But one time I remember, the first time I was really, really small. I was a small baby. The last time I went there, I was 9 years old. So I traveled there. Um, I've traveled to Haiti, like we talked about. I went there for a mission trip through my church, and that was a crazy experience for sure. Very beautiful though. My most recent, or not my most recent, but 2 years ago, I went on a cruise and I went to the Bahamas.
Ah.
So we went to the Bahamas, we went to Mexico, Cozumel, kind of like the touristy areas, but
Yes.
still, like when we went to the Bahamas, we were in like we went to like the villages and stuff, like they took us through. So, because when I travel, I want to try and like see the culture.
Exactly.
I don't want to just stay in the.
So we're the same. Like,
yeah.
I don't like the carnival because it's only tourists. Everyone's like, this is American tour. Like,
yeah, I don't want to stay on the resort. I want to go. Hey, let me see what it really looks like. I've been to Canada, went to Niagara Falls. My family did a good job of like making sure we were aware of different places. We've traveled a lot within the U.S.
Okay.
A lot of states there. Most recently, I did like a guys trip. We took, me and a few of my friends from school. We took a guys trip to London, England.
Shoot.
So that was December last year, December 2025. So we did that. That was really fun. So yeah, definitely trying to do more. Definitely want to travel to a lot of places. Yeah, it's definitely a big goal of mine.
All right, so let's talk about it. I say I'm double black, so you're triple.
Yeah,
black.
yeah, I guess, yeah.
So like,
yeah.
What are some principles that set you apart from? I don't want to do that. 'Cause I don't know. I'll try it, but
Yeah.
because people are talking about, oh, blacks are criticizing black lives here, and others like, how do you fall in between? Like, I don't feel I'm safe anywhere. It's like,
yeah,
culture is like,
yeah, I know what you're saying, because you have that difference between Black Americans
Yeah.
and then immigrant blacks, right? Like people that are from other countries that are, black people from other countries. And there's kind of like a divide there where like the immigrant black people don't typically like the Black Americans and vice versa, right?
Correct.
And then of course, you got, other cultures, white people, other demographics where, there may not always be like alignment, you may not feel safe anywhere. I think for me, man, I gotta thank my parents a lot, because I have the immigrant influence, right? But me personally, I was born in the US. So I kind of, I can identify as both in a sense. Like I can be Black American, but then when I'm with my family, I can speak in like our language, right? I can be that,
how many languages do you speak?
Huh?
How many languages do you speak?
Really just English, but then we speak Creole, which is like a broken English. So it's like you guys in Haiti speak French Creole. No. Ours is English, because we were colonized by the British.
Okay.
So ours is like an English-based Creole.
Okay.
Y'all's is like a French-based Creole.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get there. I don't know how to speak that yet, but I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there. I don't know that too much. but ours is like an English based crew. So it's like broken English in a sense, right?
Right.
So but I can do that, right? I can be that with my family, but also I look like I'm Black American too. People wouldn't
Yeah.
think that I'm
Yeah.
like from,
Yeah.
what I'm saying? But then also like my family, my parents worked really hard to where the area that we live in now, I grew up pretty much in the suburbs, right? So I'm around a lot of white people. I'm around a lot of multicultural people, Asians and Indians, a lot of people like that where I live. So I've kind of learned how to be able to interact with all groups, right? My high school I went to was a majority white high school. It was my college I went was a majority white college, PWI. So,
Never had that experience.
huh?
Never had that experience.
Yeah, yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? So I've been able to kind of like have all these experiences, be around all these people. So I feel like I can, I understand not feeling safe, but I feel like I can fit in with anywhere. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? So yeah.
All right. Sweet.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So I want you to close out with a quote to inspire the next generation.
Oh man. Or a piece of advice.
Yes, like something that personally puts you like,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Oh man. I'm gonna say two things, right? One of my favorite quotes or speeches by anybody is the Man in the Arena by Teddy Roosevelt.
Okay.
So Teddy Roosevelt was a US president back in the early 1900s, but he had a speech called The Man in the Arena. And basically the Man in the Arena talks about how it is better to be the man or the person that is doing or trying to accomplish your goals. But you'd rather be that person rather than be the person on the side who's criticizing and always talking, right?
Correct.
Because even if you fail, as the man in the arena, even if you fail in the attempt to accomplish your goals, you're still better off than most because most people didn't even try.
Correct.
So always in life strive to be the man in the arena. Even if you fail, even if you fall short, you did better than most because most people don't even try. They don't ever take a bet on themselves. They don't ever have the courage to bet on themselves and do what it is they truly want to do in life. If I didn't have the courage to bet on myself to play football, none of this would have been possible. I wouldn't be here talking to him right now. I wouldn't have gotten the experience of playing football and traveling and having all those experiences. None of that would have happened. So even when people can talk about football on the sides, I really played it. So I can look at it. I'm the man, in a sense, I'm the man in the arena because
Correct.
I've done it. So I would always say, man, like be the man in the arena. And then also, always don't ever discount the power of consistent proactivity.
Facts.
Man, in order to accomplish what you want in life, you have to be able to willing to obviously work hard, be persistent, be hardworking, of course. But also you have to be proactive. Not everybody is gonna, give you the answer that you want, but you always have to be willing to reach out to the next person, reach out to somebody that can help you. You don't ever get what you want without asking. Closed mouths don't get fed. So, always reach out, always be willing to put yourself out there, make yourself vulnerable because there's a lot of people that are willing to help you. They just need to know that you exist and that you need their help, right? Because I've had a lot of people that have helped me just simply because I asked, because I walked into that facility and said I wanted to play.
Yep.
If I didn't do that, who knows where I'd be right now? Because football did a lot for me. So I would say be the man in the arena and be consistently proactive in order to achieve what you want to achieve in life. And those kind of go hand in hand. So those would be my words of advice for whoever's watching.
Okay.
Yeah.
So since you mentioned book, like, what's your favorite book and favorite movie for motivation?
Oh man, favorite book. Oh, you got me with that one because I don't read as much as I should. I probably can't remember the last time I read a full book, even though I'm trying to get back into it. So but I mean I'm really into like self-help books, right? Reflective books, things that can help me be a better leader, a better communicator, right? So I need to get into it. But if I had to give you a favorite book, it'd be the Bible for sure.
Okay.
I think the Bible is the best book that, if you're looking for self-help, psychology, anything, the Bible is, it has it all. That's the keys, those will give you the answers to live a successful life. My favorite movie, I like a lot of action. I like a lot of history-based stuff.
Okay.
So my favorite movie, I'd say, if you watched Django Unchained,
The Django.
with Jamie Foxx.
Yes.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite movie. It's just a really action packed movie. Very interesting. Um, Sinners was good last year. That was probably one of the better movies I've seen in a while. The Prince of Egypt. That's an older movie,
Oh yeah, I saw that.
animated movie. You know, that's a good one. I'm a big movie guy, so I like a lot of stuff, just depending on the mood. But yeah, those would be a few for sure.
All right,
Yeah.
cool. Before we close, is there anything I missed that you want to mention?
Um, I would say, okay, so you did mention me like in terms of like what I do for coaching. One thing that I did do that I was very proud of is that when I graduated from from my school in Mississippi from grad school, I went and when I was taking some time to kind of figure out my next step, I took some time to create a guide. Any athlete that is trying to like elevate their game or try to figure out how I went from 1 year of high school football to Division I football, I created a guide that gives them the blueprint as to how I did it, how I trained, who I reached out to, how I communicated with people, how I stayed ready for my trial. It's a comprehensive guide that allows you to kind of see how I did it step by step. So that if you go on all my social media platforms, it's in the link in my bio. It's really, cheap, so anybody that's looking to kind of do what I did, be in the position that I'm in, and maybe you don't have much experience, maybe you're not being recruited as much as you want to. I think that would be good for anybody that's trying to just strive to be the best they can be and trying to play football at the next level. Added to that, I also created a Discord, which basically allows anybody to join, and in there we give them detailed tips, tricks. We have film review in there. I have workout plans in there where it's like a basically like a Discord, like a chat, a chat kind of platform where basically anybody can come in there and just kind of do the same thing, try to be the best player they can be. We have nutrition tips, things like that. Like I said, workout plans, anything that they need, tips and tricks to be the best athlete, best football player that they can. So those kind of go hand in hand. So you can join the Discord, you can get the guide. And those are things I still want to build on. I probably haven't been as active in the Discord as I would want to. But we have quite a few people in there, probably, a decent amount of people in there. So those are just things that if you want to, support me, or, look at, my platform, those are things that I would love for y'all to look at, take a look at and, if it applies to you, be a part of. So definitely, if you want to support me in that way, and it would be much appreciated. So just trying to, of course, give back and help others. In the same way that I feel like others did for me, or in the same way that I feel like I didn't have at some point in times to be good at football or to be a better athlete. So I would say those are things that just be on the lookout for. If you come across my platforms, definitely take a look at those.
All right, how do people get in contact with you?
DM is probably the best thing. You can DM me on TikTok, DM me on Instagram. Y'all got to give me some time because I do get a decent amount of DMs. So I might not answer right away, but a lot of people will get in touch with me through DMs. Obviously, if you have my phone number, and then also email as well. You emailed me and I responded, I would say pretty quick for the most part.
Yep.
So email is a good thing as well. All that is available. Through my social media platforms. You can follow me on Instagram and TikTok and any other social media platforms, Facebook at Justin Fabera, Justin, Justin, Fabera, Efebera. Just my full name, no spaces, no caps. That's the username for all my social media platforms. So if you go on there, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, even YouTube, you find those, all my links are available in one place. You can kind of find any other way to contact me, whether it's DM, email, or any other way.
All right,
Yeah.
cool. So, trick question, but bonus. Besides walking, what should I do to improve my health?
Oh man, you gotta move, you gotta do everything, man. I mean, walking is cool, but walking is cool, walking is good, and everybody's at different levels of fitness. So I don't wanna, we're not judging anybody here. Do what it is that's best for you. But man, you gotta do everything. I think you gotta weight train, you gotta, weight training for sure. That's very important because as you get older, your bone density gets lower. So you need to continue lifting weights in order to stay healthy. So weight training. I think running, if you can't run, walk, move your body, right? Run, sprint. I still sprint. You know what I'm saying? And I'm done playing football, but I still sprint. I still run full speed. explosive training. I do a lot of explosive training, whether it's jumping, running is an explosive movement, sprinting is an explosive movement. You can do lifts that are explosive, hang cleans, power cleans, kettlebell swings, anything like that. And then mobility and flexibility are very important also. Being able to be mobile, to be flexible, to train in a way that helps you helps you operate better in life. I think is very important. So I would say those things. If you can't run, walk, but definitely lift them weights. Be able to move a little bit, whether you're running or walking, and be flexible, be mobile, stretch, and be hydrated. Drink water, and then get sleep as well. So I would say those things. But
And I can find all that on your Discord, right?
yeah, all that is on the
All right.
Discord.
Cool.
Watch my videos, all my content. I talk about all these things, but yeah, for sure. All my workout vids, you guys see what I do for those who follow me and those who see my stuff. But yeah, all that is available on my platforms.
All right, you guys heard it here first.
Yep.
I appreciate you for coming on.
Appreciate you, brother.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you
Thank
having
you.
me. Yes, sir.
Yeah.